is Brianna Franklin, and this is my oral presentation on the four major theories of human development. Okay, so first we have Piaget's cognitive development. So with his development, he just basically believed in equilibrium and everything has a balance within itself. And just like there's a balance, there can also be an unbalance, and that's what this equilibrium comes in. And it mostly occurs when the balance is interrupted with a change in their environment. Piaget formed schemes and operations, and that was just to focus on the balance and how it's achieved within the environment. Schemes and operations also analyze experience and how balance is achieved within the schemes and operations itself. And so through adaptation, that's how schemes and operations is shown and equilibrium is achieved. So with adaptation, it just kind of modifies the schemes and operations that's already there, so they can account changes between what is known and what is new information. And with adaptation, it's like a two-step, two-part process. And the first part is a simulation. And with the simulation, it just interprets all of the new information into a pre-existing scheme. And with accommodation, which is the second part, it kind of it alters the existing structures in light of the new information. And so, also in Piaget's theory, he suggested that cognitive development happens in 4 stages. And the first stage is the sensory-motor intelligence stage. And with that one, it's part of the infancy stage. So things like emotional development, attachment, and communication occurs. And then infants start to organize and practice control over their environment. The second stage is pre-operational thought, and with that's when children start to learn language, early motor development, self-theory, and peer play. And that coincides with the early school life stage. And then the third stage is concrete operational thought. And with that one, it's just development of friendships and skills learning, emotional development, and romantic and sexual relationships. And also, children start to do and be successful in problem solving. So any situation that happens while they're at school, anything, they kind of try to solve the problem on their home with just a little bit of help from adults. And then the last stage is the formal operational thought. And in this stage, it occurs during the adolescence to adulthood, and it just kind of lets you create this different systems of laws and that you could use for problem solving. In contrast, we have Vygotsky's cognitive development, and with his, he kind of focused on the cultural and the social historical framework. He believed that cognitive development can only be understood within the cultural context. He also believed that cultural tools is one of the elements of culture, and that cultural tools is what changed a person's view of the world. And then he also said that mental functions start with outside activity like intermental and instrumental. Intermental is which is like a shared meaning between two people, and instrumental is like an understanding of a special relationship between you and the problem and the desired goal and ways to achieve that goal. An example is a client comes to you saying that she has problems with discipline and controlling her child. And so, as a social worker, it's like you and the client have an understanding, and that you have an understanding of the problem and the goal that you're trying to meet, and then possible solutions. So our third theory is the psychosocial theory, and this theory kind of focuses just on the life stages and the growth while stating the differences in central issues, and it also believes the individual contributes to their own development. Um, and then our last theory is the psychoanalytic theory. With this theory, you have things like ID, ego, and superego. And the last theory, it just talks about drives, and drives are forces both sexual and aggressive, and they look for energy that is built up and find satisfaction. And the main goal of the drive is just to be satisfied. And then the psychosocial approach expands the views of the psychoanalytic theory, and by putting into consideration of the range of social demands and expectations. The psychosocial kind of gives a better role of individuals as far as guiding and shaping their stages of development. Well, thanks for watching my presentation, and I hope that you learned a lot and gained a lot of information from it. And I'm free to answer any questions about anything. And thank you for watching my presentation.